Hey everybody, my name is Eddie Phillips, and I'm the cybersecurity evangelist over at Shield Networks. This week, we're going to do something a lot different. We're going to be talking to Nathan Vreyborg from Nation Innovation. Nation Innovation specializes in digital literacy training. And they're taking this digital literacy curriculum and they're going to the First Nations communities to give people that would not normally have opportunities around technology, and they're giving them those opportunities. Without further ado, let's jump in and talk to Nathan. Hey everyone, welcome to Shield Networks. Recording this week, we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we are sitting with Nathan Vreyborg from Nation Innovation, and we're going to jump right into it. Nathan, if that's okay, if you want to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, that'd be great.
All right. Well, thanks very much for having me on today. I really appreciate your time. Well, a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Kisikoan First Nation. Grew up there. We moved to Brandon. Then we kind of moved over to Winnipeg. There, I got involved with the Army Reserves. I went back to college. I went to school for computer programming and did that. That was pretty fun. And then I started doing IT, and I've probably been doing IT for about 25 years. 17 of those years have been in the non-Indigenous or the Indigenous nonprofit sector. So I got a lot of connections in there. And why I moved over to the private sector was for job security. I was getting tired of getting laid off. I had a small family, and they appreciated that. So I went into that, and I worked for a company for about a year. And after that, I had enough confidence and decided to set up my own company. And I did that in October 2016 and called it Nation Innovation. So we focus in on digital literacy training, helping people get employment skills for jobs.
For people who've never heard that term before, where did it come from, and how does it apply to Nation Innovation?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've been working with digital literacy programs probably for about 10 to 12 years now. We started off with, when I worked over at the Manitoba First Nations SchoolNet, we would bring in about 50 youth from different First Nations here in Manitoba, and we'd have an intensive 1 week training with the courseware and that. And then they would go back to the schools, and they would actually be the tech support for the schools, because there's that old saying there that a one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind. And just because they had those skills and they knew it, they were a real asset to the schools, and in many cases, and we also covered their salaries for the school year. But when the program ended, in many cases, the schools hired them on as technicians. Some of the band offices hired them as technicians as well, and some even went back to school to further their education. And as a matter of fact, we have one student. He is actually a programmer, I believe, for Great West Life now.
Oh wow, very good, very good. So I guess maybe let's step back for a second, and in true Simon Sinek fashion, why did you start Nation Innovation?
Why? Well, like I said, I think it might have something to do with the nonprofit background, building capacity, and that's what I really want to do. Is I enjoy helping people, because that's where you can get the you can make the most impact in someone's life, is by developing those skills and giving them the confidence to go out and apply for jobs. Right? So that's why I do it. And when we do the workshops, I get a lot of the aha moments, or I needed to know that, and that is really a good feeling to have. So that's really why I do it.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. And so can you give us some examples? Like what gets taught specifically in a digital literacy workshop?
Well, we typically have 2-day workshops. We have different types. We have one that we usually have here in Winnipeg, and we also have on-site workshops as well too. And they can be, typically they're about 2 days. Some organizations want to stretch it out maybe for 3 or 4 days, but the workshop can be broken down into about 3 modules. The first module is called Computing Fundamentals. So what we're doing there is we're talking about hardware, software, the difference between applications and apps. We're going through the Windows 10 operating system, so we're showing students how to make changes, in the control panels, how to do directory navigation, file management. And we also finish off that lesson with troubleshooting. So how to identify problems, if it's a hardware problem or if it's a software problem, and what steps to take. The second module is one of my favorite ones. It's called Key Applications. And what we teach in that one is Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. There's a lot of hands-on training. For example, like in Excel, We'll get everybody to do up a personal budget for the year. So we'll have different years and or different months in the year, different categories, and then we'll populate that with information. So like the rent, the food, car payments and stuff like that. So, and then what we do is I'll show them how to use the functions and formulas, how to figure out, well, how much money did we pay for rent for the year? How much money did I spend in December, right? That type of thing. And then what then we do is we show them how to take that data and then turn it into charts and graphs. So they really like that stuff, and then so that's good. So we do the same thing for Word and PowerPoint. And the last module is called Online Living. So we cover topics like cloud computing, mobile computing, so stuff with your smartphones, your tablets, how to reset the device, how to transfer information over from an old phone to a new phone. And then we cover other topics like social media essentials, internet basics. And as a matter of fact, Eddie, do you know what one of the most common questions I get when I cover internet browsers is they ask me, a lot of students ask me, is how do I check my the history of my spouse? And the second most common question is how do I delete my history? And so with the workshops, typically in Winnipeg, what we do is we'll give out a computer. So the computer that you use at the workshop is the one you take home. We give you a courseware book. It's about 500 pages, but what it does is it'll step by step you through a lot of the formatting techniques. And then the other thing we do is we have a lot of snacks and we have a lot of lunches. I actually get my mom to do the cooking, so we have a lot of home cooked meals, and everybody likes that. And yeah, we have a great time. So it's really fun. I tell a lot of jokes, a lot of personal experiences in regards to technology, and I give some of those experiences to the students. So.
Yeah, and I know firsthand you have the best jokes. So there you
go. Thank you, Eddie.
So it sounds like it's not only the education around the apps, but how to apply it to life. So that sounds really, really great. And from a fellow IT person, even teaching the most basic troubleshooting must be just invaluable to to your students.
I think a lot of the students come because of the troubleshooting part. Yeah. But overall, the digital literacy program, it's its ability to interpret, create, and strategically use digital information, right? So that's basically what we teach in there, and it's for a lot of students it's empowering, because we're demystifying the box, we're demystifying the applications, and that they're getting more comfortable with the technology out there, and it's been pretty good. I've been very, very proud of the program so far.
I bet, and I know so many of us take for granted technology and the fact that we've been using it for years and years and years. You must have some phenomenal stories about people that you've educated and then turned around and taken real advantage of technology. Do you have anything you can share with us around that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of success stories. A real story. One I'm really proud of. We had a group of ladies come in from one of the First Nations, and they were on the group was on social assistance there. And so I was talking to one of the ladies there, and she was telling me that she used to work at the office there at the band, and they had upgraded their computer systems and that. And she didn't have that skill set, and she was laid off, and was laid off for a year, and eventually was on social assistance for about 5 years. And so when you come to my workshop, I know there's a lot of negativity in terms of the technology and feelings and that, and it could be frustration, or it could be anger or embarrassment, maybe even for not knowing this type of stuff. But and I also I'm trying to motivate them and stuff like that. So we went through the course there, and she got her computer, she took it home, and all that stuff, and she was really happy about the workshop and that. And a couple months later, I called to see if that community wanted to send anybody else to my workshops. And guess who answered the phone? That lady. She was telling me she had enough confidence after my workshop with her computer skills and that she was confident enough to apply for a job. And she got hired as the receptionist for the band office.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a good story. That makes me feel real good. So.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's awesome. So, more to the fundamentals, how do you deliver these workshops?
We have a blended way that we teach. Basically it's about 3 ways we do it. So we have the instructor in front of the class, and he's going through the materials through a PowerPoint presentation, so covering different subjects on there. The students also have the courseware book, so they're also able to follow along in the book. The books go into a little bit more detail, and of course the students are always encouraged to ask questions and stuff like that, eh? So one of the sayings I had when I was in the Army, they say that the only stupid question is the question not asked, or whatever, right? Because chances are there's probably, I know you're shy, let's say, but there's probably somebody in the group who's even more shyer than you. And just by asking the question, you not only do yourself a favor, but you're also doing them a favor just by asking that question. So I always encourage questions in that. And the other way we teach is through hands-on learning as well too, right? So going through the exercises, and again, I'm going around and I'm making sure everybody's following along. If they have any questions, they can ask, and I can cover that with them. So yeah, it's pretty good. So
Awesome, very good. And so that's how you do it. Where are they held? Where do you teach this?
well, we usually before with the things the way they are right now, we were actually doing a lot of monthly workshops downtown Winnipeg. We have a lab down there that we use. We also go on site to communities as well too, or different organizations. We're able to do workshops, and also if they're looking at maybe looking at something a little bit more closely, could be maybe Microsoft Word or Excel. Will ask and say, can we spend a little bit more time? And in this way, we can put more exercises in there, and then basically get everybody a good understanding of the program.
Okay, so the actual curriculum is pretty customizable then?
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we have about 18 chapters we cover.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess tell us how do we get a hold of Nathan and Nation Innovation?
All right, well, thanks. Well, first off, you can go check out our website. It's nationinnovation.ca. If you'll see a picture of me on the website, you know you've gone to the right website. Another way you can email me at info@nationinnovation.ca, or you can call us directly on our number is 204-891-2195.
Very good. I'll post that information when I get the video up. And then lastly, and maybe we should cover this off the top, but who's your target audience when it comes to the digital literacy?
My audience, what I look for is people that are wanting to learn, and people that, specifically people that are looking to get those employment skills. These skills that we teach, like the courseware itself is recognized in over 64 different countries. And like I said, if people see that on resumes, they know that they've covered the materials and that. And onboarding is a lot easier for employees that have taken the course in that, because they don't have to go back and train.
Very good. That is awesome. I am so glad there's people like you, Nathan, that are out there supporting our community, getting people educated, because honestly, these days you just can't survive without knowing technology. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up?
Well, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to talk about what we do at Nation Innovation. It's been a real nice ride, and you know what to tell you, I have not looked back. It's been great. So thank you for your time, Eddie.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you, Nathan, for coming on, and we'll be in touch.
Right on. Thank you, man.
Take care. All right.